center field, Brendan Lawson. The DH will bat second. Kate Curlin plays second base, hits third. Carson Bowen, the catcher, will clean up. Ethan Surowick, the first baseman, bats fifth. Blake Sear in left field hits sixth. Cash Schraer, the right fielder, bats seventh. Colton Schwartz at third base bats eighth. And Colt Myers plays shortstop and bats ninth. Now, for our defensive alignment, brought to you by Father and Son Fence Supply. Thanks to Father and Son Fence Supply for covering all North Central Florida's fencing needs. Call 352-855-1106 to receive your quote today from Father and Son Fence Supply. For the Gators, it'll be Sear, Jones, and Strayer in the outfield left to right. Schwartz, Myers, Curlin, Surowick in the infield third to first. Carson Bowen's the catcher. He'll catch righty Russell Sandifer. 0-1 with a 5.40 ERA, his eighth appearance and second start. 8 in the third innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 7 walks, 13 strikeouts, teams 276 against him. Well, we mentioned this, leaving Gainesville today, it was in the 70s. Tonight, it's much, much colder here in Jacksonville. Overcast, light rain, mist falling, lots of jackets here late in the month of March, but at least we get to play a little baseball. Second of 3 meetings between these teams. They'll meet again in Tallahassee a little later on in the year. And after this game, of course, back to action, the Seminoles in the ACC and the Gators in the SEC. Florida State coming in 19-4. The Gators are 19-6 on the year. So this should be a really good matchup. Sit back and relax and enjoy our broadcast tonight. And to start the play-by-play, here is Jeff Cardozo.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. It'll be a nice little test for Russell Sandifer, who just a week ago was outstanding. In 3 innings of work and a start against Stetson, he went 3 innings of clean baseball, struck out 6, only threw 35 pitches. And Kevin O'Sullivan said after the game, man, we have some stuff to even think about on the weekend. But then this weekend, Sandifer got the opportunity against Alabama on Sunday, and he was one of the 4 different relievers that were not successful in that Sunday loss. Sandifer went just a third of an inning, gave up a hit, 3 runs, all of them earned, and his issue was the base on balls. He walked a couple of guys, and that's what led to the demise, and that is the inconsistency of Russell Sandifer. But a guy that's going to run it up there 94, 95 miles an hour, really good slider to right-handed hitters. They'll incorporate a changeup in there as well. The Gators are going to wear those home white uniforms, and it's the all-white with white caps and the blue bill, and they will go against Florida State. Link Jarrett has made a couple of College World Series appearances already. He comes back to coach Florida State, a place that he had a lot of success as a player. Our home plate umpire tonight is Vic Carell. Damian Beal is at first, Jason Bradley at second, and Shannon Jernigan is the third base umpire. Wind is coming in about 18 to 20 miles an hour. It's already a really big ballpark, tough to get balls out of here, so the expectation is to not see many balls leave the yard tonight. So Sandifer finishes up his warm-up tosses. Kevin O'Sullivan on the other side, anxious to see what his team's reaction is going to be after the sweep in Tuscaloosa. But still, even with that sweep, the Gators only a game back in the SEC race. All right, we are ready to go. Sandifer's first pitch is just off the plate on a fastball as we get going at 6:05 here tonight. Florida State 5-1 in the conference. Gators 3-3 in SEC play. As Sandifer gets another fastball, and that one's fouled off, a 94-mile-an-hour heater to the lefty Braden Dowd. Dowd hitting .319 on the year. This Seminole lineup hitting above 300 at 304 coming in. Sandifer ready again, and there's another fastball at 94, fouled straight back. And Sandifer quickly ahead of the lefty, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Dowd was 4 for 12 over the weekend. Seminoles took 2 out of 3 from NC State. As righty winds again and gets him on a changeup. So nice pitch on the outer part of the plate. Dowd went reaching, and Sandifer gets off to a nice start.
Yeah, when he throws strikes, he's effective. It's just he's been a little wild at times. Change up here, located well, tailing away from the lefty. Well-placed pitch.
So now Kelvin Paulino, right-handed hitter. And Sandifer's first pitch to him backs him off the plate. First slider that he has thrown, and that one slid Paulino right out of the right-handed batter's box. So we'll see if the Gator pitching staff can be as dominant as they were in Gainesville a couple of weeks ago. As Sandifer's ready again, and there's a much better slider, but off the plate on the other side, and he's quickly behind 2-0. That night, the Gators, and Sandifer was one of the guys, struck out 18 Seminoles. Here's a little chopper out to the left side. Myers, the freshman shortstop, comes and gets it on the run and fires a dart over to Serwick for the second out of the inning.
Good play by Myers, charging and then coming up and throwing in the same motion. Paulino Jr. can run, but because he came in, charged it, got rid of it, they nip him.
Gators have 3 freshmen in the lineup tonight, 2 of them on the left side of that infield, with Schwartz at third and Myers at second. And the Gators are going to do something they don't often do, and that is shift. And that's because the big bat in this Seminole lineup, Miles Bailey, steps in there, but he's tardy on the first pitch. Bailey, a ton of pop as Sandifer works quickly, and he's up in the count. No balls and 2 strikes as Bailey fouls off a slider right into his front foot. 12 homers on the year for Bailey. The next best in this Seminole lineup is 6, and that's by Dow, the leadoff guy. Gators did a really good job with Bailey in Gainesville. He was 0 for 4, and they struck him out 3 times. So the shift's still on, and the 0-2 pitch wasted away. Up and off the plate on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So the Gators play Bailey to pull on the infield, but to hit late in the outfield. Here's the 1-2, and that one will miss. Down and in. Good take by Bailey, who was 4 for 8 over the weekend against NC State. 3 more homers, and they were scared of him. They walked him 5 times after what he did the first couple of days. 3 of those walks coming on Sunday. Here's a pop-up on the infield. Serwick quickly comes in and gets it, and a nice job by Russell Sandifer as he sends down the Seminoles 1-2-3 in the top of the first inning. We'll move to the home half. Gators are coming up. A lineup that really struggled in Tuscaloosa. The Gators got no hit on Friday night and just weren't able to get things going at all. It'll be Jones, Lawson, and Curlin, then Bowen, Serwick, and Sear, and then 3 freshmen at the bottom of the order: Strayer, Schwartz, and Myers. And they will face the left-hander for Florida State, Cooper Whitted, Jacksonville native, so he gets the pitch back in his hometown. 6'1", 205-pound lefty. 1-0 on the season. This will be his 3rd start. Last one was against Bethune-Cookman. Earned run average just over 3, but he's only thrown 8 2/3 innings on the year, but a nice strikeout to walk ratio, 11 strikeouts to just 2 walks. Whitted went to Sandalwood High School here in Jacksonville. Gulf Coast State College after that. So Kyle Jones will stroll up to the right-handed batter's box. Gators are in the first base dugout, so their normal home dugout. Of course, the Seminoles then in the third base dugout. Crowd continues to file in here at the ballpark. There's more than 7,000 tickets sold. But I think some people either battling the traffic and all the construction around here, or they saw the weather and said, I'll just stay home. First pitch to Jones right through there on the inner part of the plate. Sophomore from Athens, 6'3", 190-pounder. Jones hitting .333 on the year. Couple of homers, 20 runs driven in. Still has more hits than any other Gator in the lineup. 5 more than Brendan Lawson. And already some issues with the equipment as catcher Nathan Schmela has to go over to the dugout and get the mask looked at.
We've seen more of that this year than any other time I can remember. It hasn't been in effect that long, but just about every series there's several instances where the equipment doesn't work.
A lot of it, of course, is the pieces in the hats from the PitchCom, and it looks like that's what they're looking at again. They're going to put a piece of that into the helmet of Schmela. So Whitehead just has to walk around the mound, and Jones just standing there talking to the home plate umpire, Vic Carell. It looks like things are fixed. Earpiece back into the left ear of Schmela. And we're ready to go. He's got the hockey mask on, which is what you see in a lot of the catchers in college baseball these days. All right, Jones back in the box, and the lefty's pitch is a bunt attempt, but foul down the third base line for strike 2. Jones did not have a hit over the weekend, and he has hit in just 4 of the last 8 games now for the Gators. So since he has not gone, this Gator offense seems to follow right there in his footsteps. Outfield extremely shallow, the deepest of the 3 out in right field. As the lefty is ready again, and that one a changeup, 79 miles an hour, dips below the zone, and Jones lays off of it. Kevin O'Sullivan, a lot of success against the Seminoles over the years. Florida State and Miami have been very, very kind in helping the Gators win. And you look at what Kevin O'Sullivan has done. He has won 25 of the last 33 meetings against Florida State. And a pretty dominant overall record, 38 wins to 25 losses. As Jones is late on a fastball. So the lefty, Whitehead lulled him to sleep and then threw 88 by him on the outer part of the plate, and both of the leadoff hitters in this game strike out to get things going.
Well, Florida State getting a strikeout on the mound is not unusual. They are number 9 in the entire country. Strikeouts per 9 innings, almost 12 per 9 innings. So getting a strikeout, nothing unusual for them.
So here's Brendan Lawson. Gator fans happy to see him back in the lineup. And the first pitch misses inside on a fastball. Lawson left the game on Saturday in Tuscaloosa after his first at bat. Felt something in his back. And then for precautionary reasons, ended up not playing Sunday either. He's just the DH today. Gators are trying to keep him from being out on his feet the entire game, as they certainly could use his bat in the lineup. There's a breaking ball, and it catches the corner to even things up at 1-1. Florida State shifts for Lawson, just like they did in the first meeting. So a lot of room to the left side. Entire outfield shifts over as well, as Lawson takes a fastball off the plate. So he's up in the count, 2 balls and a strike. Lawson leads the Gators in average at 380. leads him in homers with 10 as he hits one high and far down the right field line, but well fouled. And as you look up into the crowd, the Jaguars Stadium, Everbank Stadium, beyond the grandstands out in right field, normally it's so clear and nice and easy to see, but a lot of fog, a really hazy evening here in Jacksonville as Lawson's going to strike out. Took a fastball on the inner part of the plate at 90, and it's back-to-back Ks by Whited to get things going.
You're not sure what Lawson was looking for there, maybe thinking another pitch, but just a fastball, middle of the plate. Took it.
So a good start for the Florida State lefty, and we'll see if Cade Kurland can put one in play. Kurland came back to the lineup this weekend for the Gators after missing about 25 days. So Florida would certainly love to get him going again, and he's tardy on a first pitch fastball at 88 on the outer part of the plate. If you go back and you count the games before Kurland left the lineup, he has reached base in 8 of the last 9. So he did it 2 out of the 3 games in Tuscaloosa. He's tardy again on an 88-mile-an-hour fastball. So back-to-back heaters, and Kurland quickly in an 0-2 hole. Whited looks really good here in the first inning. He winds, and his pitch fouled straight back. Prior to Florida State, he was at Gulf Coast State College for a couple of years, made 14 starts last year as a sophomore, was 5-5, a 3.49 earned run average through 77 innings though. So a lot of experience as he gets ready for the 0-2, and Kurland fouls one. Nope, it's going to be fair right in front of the plate, and they will easily throw him out as Shmela beat him by about 10 steps down the line. So both of the pitchers sharp here in inning number 1 as both teams go down in order 1, 2, 3. We'll head to the second. No score in Jacksonville. Jacksonville, both pitchers very sharp. Russell Sandifer, the righty for the Gators, 12 pitches, 7 strikes. And Cooper Whited on Florida State side, 14 pitches, 11 strikes. Sandifer had a strikeout. Whited had 2. So the Seminoles will send up 4, 5, and 6 here in inning number 2. Shmela, Putnam, and Stutzer. It's 320 down the left field line here, 372 in the gaps, and then just over 400 to straightaway center. 365 in right center, and the easiest place to get it is right down the right field line at just 317, and there's a knee-high wall there for about 20 steps for the right fielder. But again, wind coming straight in off the river, and it's going to be tough to get anything out of here tonight. Tough to hit that slider as Sandifer throws strike 1 to Nathan Shmela. The senior from Ashburn, Virginia. Shmela hitting 349 on the year with a couple of homers. Takes a fastball off the plate there. Shmela starting for just the 12th time this year, as Sandifer is back in there, and another slider, swing and a miss for strike 2. Hunter Carnes started the first game behind the plate, and he had a nice day. against the Gators. He was the only Seminole to have multiple hits. He was 2 for 3 that day. Shmela had a nice weekend against NC State. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. See ya! A slider that actually freezes Shmela at the plate, and back-to-back innings where Sandifer has struck out the leadoff man.
Yeah, he looks really, really sharp, and this is a slider that he gave up on. I think he thought it was going to be up in the zone, gave up on it. It came back down in the zone, caught him looking.
So another righty coming to the plate, and that is Eli Putnam, the second baseman. First pitch to him is off the plate for ball 1. Putnam from Maryland, a senior, 6'4", 215-pounder. Yes, that's a second baseman as he takes the fastball in there for a strike. Putnam had a hit. Gators walked him a couple of times as well in that first meeting. Seminoles got 2 runs in the second inning of that game as Putnam fouls off a fastball here. Scored again in the 4th, but that was it. And the Gators' big inning came in the 3rd, where they plated 5 runs to go on to the 6-3 victory. Here's a 1-2 pitch. Putnam gets a piece of a slider and fouls it back, so we'll do it again. No score here in the top of the 2nd inning. Sandifer sets up on the right side of the rubber, closest to third base, and now the 1-2 pitch. Got him. Fastball in, right under the hands at 94 miles an hour, and it's back-to-back strikeouts for the Gator righty.
Yeah, really sharp. He's got the breaking ball going and the fastball. Look where it's located, riding in on the right hander under the hands. That's a tough pitch to hit.
So another righty comes to the plate as John Stutzer. And Sandifer's first pitch is fouled straight back. Stutzer hitting .318 on the year. Freshman from Marietta, just north of Atlanta. A couple of homers already to his collegiate career. And he'll foul off another one down the right field line. Another fastball for strike 2. Stutzer actually led off that game in Gainesville. He was 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. So the Gators trying to get him here, and that one will miss off the plate. And Sandifer working quickly right back to it for the 1-2, and that fastball that brushes Stutzer back off the plate. So from 0-2 to 2-2. Sandifer continues to work quickly. He's ready to go again with that blue glove. He'll fire, and he got him. Fastball that paints the corner, and Sandifer strikes out the side here in the top of the 2nd inning. 4 strikeouts already through the first 2 here against the Seminoles. We'll head to the bottom of inning number 2. Still no score. Here with you as we bring you another edition of Gator Baseball on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield. Baron Easterling, our producer tonight, doing a fantastic job. And welcome to those watching on television tonight as well. Always fun for Florida and Florida State. Always fun to talk to the Florida State radio broadcaster as well, Eric Llewellyn. Been doing it for a really long time. Former offensive lineman at Florida State, and he knew baseball was the real sport, so he's like, I better talk about that, and he has done a phenomenal job of doing so. Well, lots of kids running around. There's a berm area down the left field line, and similar to what you see at the Contra Ballpark back home. Not nearly as big, but that's the popular area tonight. Popular thing for these pitchers, strikeouts. Cooper Whited struck out 2 of the first 3 Gators, and he'll now face Bowen, Surowick, and Sear as Carson Bowen, the Gator catcher, steps in and takes an 87-mile-an-hour fastball right through there for strike 1. Bowen 7 for his last 25 at the plate as he swings and misses at a changeup. Whited throwing a lot of strikes and keeping these Gator hitters off balance in the early going. Bowen has homered twice on the year, both of them coming in the last 10 games for the Gators. Hits this one hard, but right where Putnam, the second baseman, is playing, and he will fire over to first in time. Finally, a ball at least put in play with some barrel on it, but it's still an out.
Yeah, that was also a mistake pitch, 0-2. The ball was in the middle of the plate. Bowen hit it hard, but they had him defended well. That's not where you want to put an 0-2 pitch, but it didn't hurt him.
So now Ethan Surowick, Gator first baseman today, and another right-handed hitter. Surowick trying to bunt his way on. How about that? He has played a majority of his games at first base this year. 17th start for Surowick at first base. He has made 9 starts at third base. 308 average, 3 homers, and 24 runs driven in. Those 24 ribbies, second on the team behind Lawson. Surowick's issue of late has been the strikeout, as he fouls off a fastball here, and he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Surowick on the season has struck out 32 times. It's 9 more than anybody else in the Gator order. Whited ready, and the 0-2 pitch is a changeup that Surowick spits on. Teams continue, though, to, and Alabama did it all weekend, play Surowick to pull. And all of his hits on the weekend went into right field. Did a good job of taking it the other way, but he'll pull this one out to left, and that one's going to get by the left fielder. Chase Williams dove for it, and it's going to get all the way to the wall. Surowick chugging around second. He's going for third, and a head-first slide is going to get him there. So a mistake there by Chase Williams to go for it. He was already playing pretty shallow, and the Gators get a 1-out triple as Surowick gets his first one of the year.
Yeah, Williams with an all-or-nothing play, and it came up nothing. Maybe an extra base hit, but he goes all out for it, dives, can't make the play, and then it rolls almost all the way to the wall. In fact, it does hit the wall, and Surowick gets to third base. So instead of a single, it's played into a triple.
So Blake Sear has a chance to give the Gators an early lead as the righty steps in, and he'll take a fastball up high for ball 1. This is where the Gators struggled in Tuscaloosa. Opportunities to either move guys over or get them in with less than 2 outs. But Sear this year with runners in scoring position hitting .400 as he stands right on top of home plate. And he'll pop one up. This one's going to be very shallow, though, and we'll see who gets it. It's going to be the second baseman, and he drops it. Putnam just zooed a ball, and Surowick had to stay put after that. They airmailed the throw, but a nice job by Whited to be backing up. But there, Steve, we might see that wind already making a little factor.
Yeah, it was a big factor. It began to be an easy play, and all of a sudden the wind takes it, hits the heel of the glove. Not much Surowick could do there. He had to wait to see if the ball would be caught. So now it's runners at first and third on 2 mistakes. A dive in left field that was played into a triple, and the ball misplayed in short center field.
So the Gators get a gift there as Putnam can't catch the pop-up. That's his 5th error of the year, 2nd most on the team behind Cal Fisher, the shortstop, who's got 6. And for Florida State, they came in fielding 973 on the year. That's still better than the Gators at 968. So trip to the mound. And a quick conversation with the lefty Whited. So big spot now for Cash Strayer, who will get another opportunity in a left-on-left matchup. But for Strayer, this has been his struggles this year. Strayer, though, has been very good at sacrifice flies. And we'll see if he can put something in the air to get the Gators their first run. Squares to bunt, tries to get it down, and can't, as he fouls it off the catcher's shin guard for strike 1.
Interesting. First strike he sees, tries to bunt it and can't get it down. Now he's in the 0-1 hole.
Well, Strayer's just 3 for 17 this year against left-handed pitching. Third baseman Navarro came in crashing hard, so if you're going to do it, you got to try to bunt the ball down the first base line. Strayer squared again, now pulls it back and squares again, gets it down, really good bunt. Serwick coming home, and they're going to get him. Nope, safe. And immediately, Schmela wants a review, and Serwick looks like he's hurt.
Holding his wrist. His left wrist, I think. Now he says he's okay, but now we're going to get a review.
And the throw certainly beat him. Serwick didn't get the best jump out of there. Whited did a really nice job of fielding the bunt, came in, got it barehanded, and it does look like on the replay that that left wrist might have gotten in there before the tag by Schmela.
Well, here's a better angle. I think he's in.
Yeah, that's a great call by the home plate umpire, Vic Carell. And you hope that Serwick's okay. Here's a review, and it is going to be safe. So the Gators execute a squeeze play, something that Alabama did to them several times over the weekend, and just like that, Florida's up 1-0.
And credit Strayer for getting the bunt down, and Serwick for hustling home and beating the throw. So a couple of one scored error, another ball that was misplayed, helps give the Gators a run, and they're not done yet.
Yeah, first and second for Florida is now the freshman Colton Schwartz comes to the plate. And the first pitch to him is off the plate on a changeup. Well, Florida State had a 2-0 lead in the first matchup. The Gators get the early lead in this one. As the lefty comes set again, comes back with another changeup and misses down low for ball 2. Big opportunity for Schwartz, who's really struggling at the plate. The freshman hitting just .225, and he's just 2 for his last 20. As he digs back in the box, up in the count, 2-0. He gets a fastball, and it's nowhere close for ball 3. Colt Myers, another freshman in the on-deck circle. You would think that Schwartz would be taken all the way here. He was, and it's a strike at the knees at 87 miles an hour. Schwartz has driven in 7 on the year. 3-1 pitch is hit pretty well out into right center field. Dow trying to run it down, but it's going to be the right fielder Stutzer coming over to get it. Tagging and going from second to third is Sear, but Schwartz absolutely drilled that ball, and a nice play by Stutzer will rob him of extra bases.
Good play, but you wonder on a different day if that ball doesn't go farther because of the way the wind is blowing here tonight. That ball was scorched, but credit Stutzer, the right fielder, for getting there and making the play.
So 2 outs now for Colt Myers as a freshman from St. Augustine. will get the opportunity. First pitch to him is nowhere near. Fastball off the plate for ball one. Myers hitting .214. Trying to drive in his second run of the year. As he's got teammates on the corners, Gators already up 1-0. Fouls back a changeup there to even up the count at 1-1. Myers didn't play high school too far from here. A lot of friends and family here to watch him tonight. He started the Sunday game at shortstop for Lawson, and he's in there again tonight as he takes the changeup for strike two. Myers had a couple of chances on Sunday to drive in runs, bases loaded, and unable to do so. Ended up getting a hit late in that game on Sunday. As he's ready for the 1-2, change up again, and it got him. So Whited limits damage, but the Gators get a triple from Surowick, and Strayer brings him home on a safety squeeze to give Florida, as we move to the third inning, a 1-0 lead.
Featuring George Clinton, Andrew Day, Esperanza Spalding, Nell Rogers and Chick, and Kamasi Washington, and much more. For more information about the free festival or to buy premium experience tickets, visit JacksonvilleJazzFest.com. And fans, on Wednesday night, March 25th, tune in for a special edition of Inside Seminole Baseball with Lake Jarrett live from Bowden's in Collegetown from 7 to 8 p.m. Enjoy food and drinks at the FSU Theme Bar and Grill, here for the head coach, players, and more. For those who can't make it, watch the show live on the Unconquered app and Florida State baseball social platforms, or listen in on the Game Day app.
Ballpark. Jeff Cardozo back here with you as the Gators take a 1-0 lead. Russ Sandiford back to work. In 2 innings, he has struck out 4, throwing 26 pitches, 17 of those for strikes. Well, folks, don't forget Steve Spurrier's head beer coach 1966 lager is available at Condren Family Ballpark and at most retail stores throughout North Central Florida. All you got to do is ask for it. Made by Gators, for Gators. Please drink responsibly. All right, 1-0 lead. We'll see if the Gators can get even more as we hand things over to Steve Russell.
All right, Jeff, thank you. 7, 8, 9 for the Seminoles here in the third. Sandiford's been really sharp. Chase Williams, the left fielder, hits. Junior. Came from Florida State College. He's a lefty. Sandiford's ready. His first pitch is inside, ball one, almost hit him. Williams hitting .200 on the year. 1-0 is a fast strike, 1-1. Now. Swing a little chopper at third, fielded, throw across is in time.
Yeah, good job again by Sandiford. He's really got these Florida State hitters off balance right now, and it's a Florida State lineup that really crushed the baseball in that Sunday game, really throughout the entire weekend. But Florida State put up 15 runs on 14 hits Sunday against NC State, who was ranked 10th in the country.
Freshman Will Bavaro, 361 on the year. The righty takes ball one. Now is a strike outside corner. Sandifer wants a new baseball. He'll get it. Navarro, also a freshman. He had a hit in the first game between these two teams. There's a fastball for ball 2. He was 1 for 3. Two one now. Swing, ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit.
Yeah, his fastball left it right out over the heart of the plate. Good job by Bavaro. I don't think anybody should be having big swings tonight on either seed. I mean, even if you're Miles Bailey, I mean, that might be the one guy, of course, and maybe Lawson, but yeah, anybody else, just line drives, hit balls in the gaps, and run for days with as big as these gaps are.
Cal Fisher, the 9-hole hitter, their shortstop now. He drove in a couple of runs for the Seminoles against the Gators. Last time out, he was 1 for 4. Pitch to him is high, ball 1. Fisher, a 273 hitter, but no homers. Gators up 1-0 here in the third. Stretch and pitch is a strike. Popular place tonight is where the concessions are. There's people in there, but they ain't eating. They're staying warm. Stretch and pitch, little ground ball to third. It's fair. Only play is at first. It's made for the out.
Yeah, they're calling it foul. Hit off of his front foot.
So the count will go to a ball and 2 strikes. Kevin O'Sullivan's out. I'm assuming asking about the call. Well, he's still out there talking.
Yeah, I mean, he just has to be questioned whether or not that actually hit the foot, which it didn't. I mean, it hit in the box. You could easily see it on the replay there in foul territory and then bounce into fair territory.
Well, the call's going to stand.
And it was the third base umpire that ended up making the call. I mean, Sully had a very valid argument there.
Well, the call stands, a ball and 2 strikes on Fisher. Pitch, low and away on a breaking ball, 2-2. Gators go right back on the road this weekend. We'll visit Arkansas. Sandifer's 2-2. Swing, ground ball, left side. They go to second, 1, and it's dropped on the exchange. We'll see how it's called, and it's an out. And now FSU is going to probably take a look at this.
And they're going to say that it popped out. But that's easily on the exchange. I mean, there's so many base runners. We actually saw this call in the World Baseball Classic. If you're watching that, and the USA was involved with it, a big game, and it was the right call. You could tell that it's easily in the glove, and then on the exchange, as Curlin is trying to pull that out of there, he dropped it. So they will review it.
Yeah, I thought to the naked eye, Jeff, pretty obvious. He caught it, turned to throw it, and dropped it.
Well, he was trying to take it from his glove into his hand, and then that's when it came out.
Now, I guess the question would be, did he have control of it? When he started making the exchange, you could see the white of the ball there.
Yeah, it did never get to his hand.
This will be interesting. Here comes the call. And they say that the exchange, it was not on the exchange.
Yeah, You could, and I see what they saw. It's obvious that Curlin caught it, but the ball never touched his hand, and that's where you would say it's on the exchange. And because that didn't happen, Curlin was trying to flip it to his hand, and he just dropped it. So a huge mistake there for the Gators. What could have been an inning-ending double play now turns into trouble.
Runners at first and second now. First pitch, a ball, and a conversation now with Sandifer from Bowen. Brake Dowd, the hitter, struck out his first time.
Yeah, so it's really twice that they should have had Cal Fisher retired.
Each team now with an error. Gators up 1-0 here in the third. 1-0. It's a strike, 1-1. Good crowd here. It always is when we come here. 1-1. Swung, hit the left field pretty well. Sear going back, still going back, and makes the catch right in front of the Gator bullpen. Runner's going to tag from second and make it to third, but that ball almost got out of here.
Yeah, ball went a long way into the teeth of that wind opposite field. I mean, Dowd's got some pop, 6 homers, and he just barreled that thing up pretty good. Good job by Sear to get all the way in the gap. He caught it right in front of the 372 sign.
So now 2 outs and Kevin O'Sullivan out to the mound. Gators have activity in the bullpen. You know, on another night that ball might have gotten out.
Yep.
Conversation over. Right-hander up in the Gator bullpen. But Sandifer will face the DH, Calvin Polino Jr., who grounded out to short his first time. Jackson Barberi is the Gator pitcher in the bullpen. So now runners first and third. From the stretch, pitch is a fast strike in the inside corner.
Really good pitch, 94 at the knees, down and in.
Polino Jr., a freshman. 0-1. Fastball, strike 2.
Same exact spot.
Stretch, 0-2. Breaking ball outside, 1-2.
You got options now. You go right back to that fastball down and in, or you stick away with that slider. You would think that he's up there guessing.
1-2. That's a slider down on the way. Check the swing. 2-2. Pretty good take. Wind continues to blow briskly in. 2-2. Swinging a little flare that Curlin will catch right near the bag for the out. So the Gators work through the error. No runs, a hit, an error. 2 left. We played 2.5. The Gators lead 1-0. bottom half of the third. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Gator Baseball on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield. We thank you for listening or watching the broadcast tonight. Don't forget UF Health, probably the only U.S. Olympic and Paralympic medical center in the Southeast, providing care for Team USA. They always get great care, but you also get great care, always. Visit youinprogress.ufhealth.org to find out more. Steve Russell, Jeff Cardozo with you here from Jacksonville. 1-0 as the Gators hit here in the bottom half of the third. Kyle Jones struck out his first time. Jones came in hitting .333. First pitch to him is a fastball, ball one, but he's been fighting it lately. He's 3 of his last 21. Whiting's pitch is slashed foul to the screen. Overcast, misty night, and also a cold night here in Jacksonville. But a good crowd on hand to watch this game. 1-1. Fastball strike inside corner 1-2. Jones didn't think so.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good pitch. Both of these arms have done a nice job of coming in. And on a night like this, you could certainly do that and get away with it. So why not?
1-2. Looked like the same spot, but a little more in. 2-2. Yeah, because to get one out of here tonight, you can afford to come in and take your chances. The lefty's 2-2. Swung, hit to right. The wind's taking it toward the line and back. It's near the wall and caught in the warning track.
I mean, that's the one place you can get it out of here tonight, just down the right field line. Wind would be pushing it somewhat across as the wind goes from foul pole to foul pole almost, left to right. So if you can get it in that little pocket down the corner there, 317, and you can get it out.
Brendan Lawson struck out his first time. Takes a fast strike. Gators up 1-0 here in the third. Lawson, a .375 hitter with 10 homers. 0-1 is fouled to our left, 0-2. Whiting's thrown 41 pitches here as the Gators hit in the third inning. .2. Little fister in the infield. It's going to be caught by the pitcher in the back of the mound. Nice play.
Yeah, like Willie Mays from the pitcher's mound. Nice job of looking back up over his body. We see it all the time why pitchers are the best athletes. And he just immediately turned and stuck out his glove. Back was completely facing home plate. Really nice play by the pitcher.
And he was the only guy that could field them.
Yep.
I mean, it wasn't him, not about to fall for a hit. Cade Curlin up, 0 for 1. Takes ball 1. One nothing Gators here in the third. 1-0 pitch. Swinging a little fister to first base. Fielded and booted. Throw to first, not in time. That's about as easy a play as you could ask for, and Bailey just botched it.
Yeah, Bailey tried to just really all for nothing come in and try to swipe it, and it never really got in his glove. It had some spin on it, so that would be the only thing. Kind of a cue shot right off the end and maybe going away from him. I think he just closed his glove as he was trying to pick it up.
It never set his feet. He just kept running in. and he had time. I think maybe he felt he didn't have as much time as we could see here, and it's another Seminole error. Carson Bowen hits now. He grounded out his first time. They throw to first, and he's just back. That's pretty close. Bowen hit 260. Pitch to him is grounded foul near the Seminole dugout. Long hold, now the pitch, swing and a miss.
Yeah, White doing a really good job of just, again, throwing the fastball and mixing in the changeup. They look very, very similar. Fooling a lot of these Gator hitters.
Pitch outside. They play Bowen to pull, almost a shift in the infield. Stretch and pitch here is, I'm guessing high. I would have wanted that.
Yeah, pretty good pitch. Yeah, certainly not in.
Long hold. Now the pitch. Swing fouled off right side. White will throw his 50th pitch next. Here it comes. Change up, line foul left side.
They finally, this is the first time we've been to this ballpark where the bullpen hasn't been right there. They finally moved it now beyond the wall. And actually both bullpens are out in left center field.
You can almost shout to each other out there.
Yeah.
That's how close they are. 2-2 again. Swing, pop, foul. Good battle here.
Yeah, part of this whole renovation process throughout this area. Of course, the Jaguar Stadium is getting revived. They're already building some buildings along the river across the street. It'll be an awesome area.
2-2 again. Strike three call. No runs, no hits, and error. One left. We've played three. Florida 1, Florida State nothing. June. The Florida Watermelon Association is proud to support our state's growers and marketers by promoting fresh, delicious watermelon and helping its members thrive. Look for locally grown Florida watermelons and taste the sunshine in every bite. Gators now go to the bullpen for the first time. Meldon Law called to the bullpen.
It'll be Luke McNeely coming in for his 8th appearance of the year. He has made 3 starts. Only 14 innings, though, for McNeely. He's allowed 14 hits and 6 earned runs with 7 walks and 15 strikeouts. Opponents hit 241 against him. McNeely was another one of those guys that had trouble against Alabama on Sunday. Threw an inning, gave up 2 hits and 3 runs, and he also walked a couple of guys, throwing 26 pitches that day.
Part of the Seminole order up here against McNeely. 3-4-5. Miles Bailey popped the first in the first inning. McNeely's pitch, swing and a miss on a fastball. And we saw that in the first game too. He had trouble with fastballs.
Yeah, and especially.
Yes. 0-1. Another one high. They shift on him now.
He's so good at just extending his hands. He hit a ball the other way this weekend in Tallahassee that still hadn't landed yet.
1-1. That's lashed foul right side. And there's up 1-0 here in the fourth. McNeely's wind and pitch. Again, ground ball foul just about the same place. And it went right into the tarp.
A little hole there on the side. It would be awesome if.
And it went out the other side.
Yeah, but if McCool, if it stuck in there and the guy started crawling through it.
1-2 again. Popped up left side. Going to give chase, but they'll run out of room. McNeely ready again. His pitch a little low. Seminoles came into the game hitting .304 as a team. Gators were at .278. 2-2, swung, foul left side. Good battle here.
Bailey, a draft eligible sophomore.
Line and pitch, waves and misses. Strike 3.
Man, nasty changeup. You don't see that often from McNeely at all. Normally just a 2-pitch guy, but because he threw it so well, it looked like the fastball. Miles got sorted on it. He had no idea what to do with it.
Nathan Schmela now struck out looking his first time. Pitch to him, swing and a miss. Couple of homers for the Seminole catcher. 0-1 is strike 2. Swing and a miss. Got him.
And I think this is why Kevin O'Sullivan was so puzzled about Sunday. You had Lugo Conchola come in and not giving up a homer all year. He gives up 2. You had Reitner come in, not give up a homer all year. He gives 1 up. And just all the walks, the inability to throw strikes. The Gators had 9 walks, and McNeely had a couple of them. And now today it looks great.
Eli Putnam, swing and a miss.
And I think it's just more of a mindset to come out every single time and attack a hitter.
0-1, strike 2. Well, the other thing is, Florida pitching has success against Florida State. They know if they do their job, they've got Florida State's number that way. Swing and a miss, just like that. Struck out the side. Seminoles down 1-2-3 in the fourth through 3.5. Gators lead 1-0.
Jacksonville Jazz Fest 2026 returns this May with an outstanding lineup that includes Parliament Funkadelic, featuring George Clinton, Andrew Day, Esperanza Spalding, also Nile Rodgers and Chip, and Kamasi Washington and much more. For more information about the free festival or buy premium experience tickets, visit JacksonvilleJazzFest.com. Advance, come out for the second annual Seminole Spring Weekend presented by Whataburger, April 16th through the 19th. To celebrate, Whataburger is giving away a Whataburger for a year prize pack, as well as tickets to select FSU athletic events throughout the weekend. Scan the QR code, fill out the form to enter, and make sure to mark your calendars for this year's Seminole Spring Weekend.
Every day, proud to keep the orange and blue strong. Florida dairy farmers fueling the Gators for 40 years. Well, pitching is fueling things tonight. The teams have combined for 1 run and 2 hits. As a matter of fact, there have been more errors in the game than hits at this point. That's how dominant the pitching has been. Gators will send in Surowick, Sear, and Strayer here in the fourth. He's got the only Gator hit. He tripled on a ball that was misplayed in the outfield, and he scored the only Gator run. He's now hit 5 of his last 7 games. 9 for 22 in that stretch. Why did the lefty still out there? First pitch to Surowick was a check swing, but he went around, strike 1. Oh, no, he did not. They appeal, and the first base umpire says no. 1-0. 1-0 pitch. That's low. 2-0. Now, swing and a miss.
Well, perspiration starting to fall. That sideways rain like Forrest Gump had to deal with.
2-1, fouled away right side. And you can see it in the lights. You can also tell exactly the way the wind's blowing because of that. It is blowing across left to right and hard. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Well, they're going to call it a swing, but a foul ball that ended up fair just in front of the plate.
So now Blake Sear popped out his first time. Pitch to him is swung on, popped up right side. The wind's going to take that into the seats.
Yeah, there was zero chance of that staying fair. And it started off fair.
And you can see here just flag blowing, lots of wind. Playing through some drizzle. check swing, base hit down the right field line. How about that?
Sayre didn't even know where the ball was after he checked his swing. Just floats over Miles Bailey's head at first base, and he was looking out towards left field and finally realized, oh, I better start running.
We've seen a lot of bizarre things here tonight, in part because of the weather. Cash Strayer now hits. Left on left matchup here. Drove in the Gator run with a sacrifice. Takes a fastball strike. One nothing Gators, bottom of the fourth. They throw to first, runner back. Strayer's average at 259. Breaking ball, ground ball, base hit right field. Sayre round second base. He will try for third. Here comes the throw. He is out.
Well, that was a dart by Stutzer. One hopper right there. Looks like Sayre wants a review, but it seems like every player wants a review, whether it's close or not. But that was a really nice throw. They are going to check on it at least.
With a throw, beat him.
But he might have got his left hand in there. I think that's what he thought that happened. We're getting the luxury of a replay now. And it does look like he got that left hand in there as the tag was applied in the chest. I hope the third base umpire, Shannon Jernigan, was right on top of it. Wasn't boxed out of anything. So you would have think that he would have seen that. But I think umpires tend to look at the glove and where the tag is going. And it does look like, if you look at the umpire, he's down looking at the glove tagging the body and not when that left hand hit the bag. So this is actually going to be a pretty interesting call.
And Sayre came up right away and said safe.
Yep.
I got in there. Strayer, by the way, took second base on the throw alertly. So depending on the call, Gators might have two runners in scoring position with one out, or a runner at second and 2 outs. Again, the call is out, so we have to have video evidence to overturn it. But they are taking a while to review it. Mentioned earlier, well, here comes the review and the call.
Well, bang, bang play. They must have not seen enough to overturn it after the out was called on the field.
So 2 outs now. Runner at second for Colton Schwartz, who flied to right his first time, and now we're getting a trip to the mound. White has certainly done a good job here in nearly 4 innings of work. He's a lefty. 2 righties are due up for Florida in the 8 and 9 hole.
But remember, Schwartz is the one that's probably hit the hardest ball off of him tonight. So I think that's why you would think about making a move here.
And they're going to make a move. Meldon Law called to the bullpen. Meldon Law won't back down. A right-hander's coming out. We'll tell you who it is after these messages on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield.
Yeah. Yeah, right now we are. Oh, they're working on the mic, so it's in and out popping.
Hander comes out.
Yeah, it's a dude that Florida stalled a couple of weeks ago, and a guy that's 6'6", 230-pounder, junior Cole Stokes from Redondo Beach, California, and he can light up the radar gun. We've seen Josh Reitner, and we saw Barberi a couple of weeks ago, both trying to get 100. Stokes can get it up there as well, and he's been really good over 7 1/3 innings. 10 strikeouts. The issue is the walks. He has 9 walks, an earned run average of just 2.45. Transfer from Oregon, where he was there the last couple of years, so he played for former Gator Mark Wasikowski. Good old Waz. Waz was a good one.
Yep.
Under Andy Lopez. And he's done a heck of a job out in Oregon.
Yeah, they got resources there, though.
No doubt.
That helps, but yeah, he's done a heck of a job. All right, Colt Schwartz hits, fly to right his first time, but hit it hard. 1-0 Florida. We're in the bottom of the 4th. Ready to go. Stretch, pitch, swung, hit hard, right center field. Again, the wind is taking it, and the right fielder will make the play for the out. That ball just went right to him. He just stood there, and the wind carried it right to him. No runs, 2 hits, 1 left. We played 4. Gators lead the Seminoles 1-0. Two old pitchers here. It's an old-fashioned pitchers duel as the Gators lead the Seminoles 1-0. A run, 3 hits, an error for the Gators. No runs, a hit, 2 errors for the Seminoles. We move to the 5th. Back to the play-by-play. Here's Jeff.
All right, Steve, thank you very much. Luke McNeely back to work as well, and he was tremendous in a 1-2-3 4th inning. Struck out the side through 14 pitches. 12 of them were strikes, so much different than the inning we saw in Tuscaloosa on Sunday, where he walked a couple of guys and gave up a couple of hits. They'll face John Stutzer to get things going, and the first ball is smoked right off of Colton Schwartz at third base, and it's going to trickle all the way down the left field line. Holy smokes. And now trying to get to third, he's going to get thrown out. What a play by Colt Myers. The Gator shortstop ran 3/4 of the way to the wall down the left field line and then fired a dart right into Schwartz as Stutzer was trying to stretch that thing into 3 bags.
Heck of a play, but not the smartest base running play. You're at second base, and at this juncture, to try to get to third base, it's a high-risk, low-reward play. and then because of what the Gators did, no reward at all.
I mean, that ball was absolutely smoked at the Gator third baseman, who's now in a couple of steps in front of the bag as Chase Williams steps to the plate. Left-handed hitter. So we'll score that a double and then getting thrown out at third base. It's just the second hit of the night for the Seminoles. McNeely misses. Ball one and now ball two to the Seminole left fielder. Williams chopped one right to Schwartz at third, his first time up. So McNeely to work, and the pitch bunted foul down the third base line. Well, the weather much different than what we saw last year, and it was a heck of a game between these two in Jacksonville a year ago. Gators won the other two games, one in Gainesville and the one in Tallahassee, as Williams fouls off another one. But that was the night of the walk-off grand slam by Alex Lodies, and the 2-2 pitch. See ya. McNeely just blew 95 right by the lefty, and two quick outs here in the inning. And Lodies already in the game had singled, doubled, and tripled. It was a walk-off grand slam hit for the cycle. And Steve's been doing this for now 60 years, and he's never seen something like that.
No, I've never seen that.
No? I mean, I've never seen anything like it either.
I think Babe Ruth I saw do it last.
Here's Will Bavaro. He swings and misses at a first pitch slider. Yeah, Florida State certainly missing Lodies, as they had to replace the middle part of that infield with Fisher and Putnam this year. And there's a fastball in there for strike two. So McNeely one pitch away from getting out of the inning on what could have been a leadoff double. Here's the 0-2 pitch, and it's off the plate on a slider. So he's right back to work. Gators put the shift on for Bavaro here as Curlin's on the shortstop side of the bag as McNeely misses with a slider there. And it was believed to be the first player in college or professional baseball history to get a cycle with a walk-off grand slam. And McNeely is going to walk off back into the dugout after he gets another strikeout. Bavaro goes down on a slider, and McNeely has struck out 5 of the 6 guys that he has faced. We're already halfway through this one tonight at the VyStar Ballpark. We head to the bottom of the 5th. It's 1-0 Gators.
Don't miss your chance to secure 2026 season tickets for all 6 home games. With matchups that include Ole Miss on September 26th and Oklahoma on November 7th. Get yours today at FloridaGators.com. Advance your Jacksonville Juggalo trip. Defending AAA affiliate national champions return to action this weekend. Join us for fireworks Friday and Saturday as we celebrate the 2025 national champions. Log on to JackStrip.com for tickets.
VyStar Ballpark, what used to be the baseball grounds of Jacksonville. Its name has changed many times over the years. But the Gators have done a really good job here over Florida State over the years, other than that Lodies homer. Kevin O'Sullivan, a ton of success. Seminoles did win the game in Jacksonville, though, back in 2024. They actually destroyed the Gators. It was a run rule game, 14-3. The Gators won in 23, 22, in 2019. Gators will send up 9-1-2 here in the inning as Colt Myers will lead things off against Cole Stokes, who threw just one pitch and got Schwartz to fly out to right to end the inning. Gators have left 4 on base tonight through the first 4 innings. Seminoles just 2 in the game as Meyer gets brushed back off a plate on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Colt struck out in his first at bat. The lefty Whited had 4 strikeouts through 3 2/3 inning of work. Bavaro at third plays even with the bag, and the pitch to Myers, well off the plate, ball 3. This has been Stokes' issue, and you'd certainly love for him to walk the leadoff guy from the 9-hole here in the inning. Myers slightly open stance, ready for the pitch, and it's right down the heart of the plate on a 95-mile-an-hour heater. Taken all the way, of course. See if he takes another one. Myers just a 209 batting average. Ready? And that one misses. So it is a leadoff walk. And Florida now has the top of the order to try to increase this 1-0 lead.
Got to take advantage of that. The 9-hole hitter sitting, almost at the Mendoza line. You walk him, see if the Gators can take advantage and pad the lead.
It'll take Kyle Jones doing something, though. Been a while since Jones has biggest struggles of his young Gator career. He's 0 for 2 tonight. First pitch is a swing and a miss on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Jones has hits in just 2 of the last 6 games. He was hitless against Bama over the weekend. Had 3 hits against South Carolina the weekend before that. Long hold, and the 0-1 brushes the Gator center fielder back off the plate with another fastball. Jones has struck out and flown to right tonight. A lot of room down that right field line. Stutzer is playing past the second base bag as Jones chops one right to the third baseman. Bavaro's only play, though, is across the diamond, and Bailey has to scoop it up from going out into right field. Not a good throw at all by Bavaro, and Myers will get to second base.
Heck of a play. That was a really, really nice play by Bailey. And, sometimes you don't see that in the box score. He doesn't make that play. It's minimum second and third and maybe a run score.
So now Brendan Lawson. And the biggest struggles of his sophomore season that he's going through right now. First pitch is off the plate on a fastball. Lawson has not gotten a hit since the Sunday game of South Carolina. 0 for 3 against Stetson, 0 for 4 against Bama on Friday night, and then did not get a hit in his lone at bat in the Saturday game as he takes another one off the plate, and he's 0 for 2 tonight. So he's in the midst of an 0 for 10 slide for the Gators' leading hitter. And with Myers out at second base, Florida State will not shift. Lawson having to take his glasses off and wipe them off with the miss, and now they're just going to intentionally walk him. After 2 pitches that weren't even close, to say, hey, first base open, just trot on down to first base, and Lawson getting the Miles Bailey treatment.
And at some point, if you're going to keep doing that with Lawson, the guy in the 3 or the 4 hole's got to make him pay. Got to make him pay.
Yeah, Curlin's in that spot today. First time that he has done that behind Lawson since the return, and a first pitch slider he's not even close to get. Misses it badly for strike 1. Lawson's walk now the 28th of the year. The next most is 19. As Curlin digs back in, another slider, and that one catches the corner for strike 2. First one was well off the plate, so Curlin chose not to swing at this one, and It's called a strike, so quickly he's in an 0-2 hole. And there's another one, and he's sitting down after swinging and missing. So not a good at bat there by Curlin at all. And that's the 5th strikeout for Seminole pitching tonight.
All breaking balls, and the key, that's the best one he threw of the 3, but the key was the swing on the first one, which put him in the hole, which wasn't a strike.
So now Carson Bowen, as the 2 Gators take their leads. First pitch to him, nowhere close. Slider that ended up well past the left-handed batter's box. Bowen struck out looking his last time. He is also chopped to the second baseman. Another slider, and he lays off of it for ball 2. So a good take there by Bowen. Bowen drove in runs in each of the last 2 games against Bama. He had gone the previous 4 before that without driving one in. So let's see if he stays hot. And he takes a fastball right down the middle on a 2-0 heater at the knees. That would have been the pitch to go after. Gators up 1-0 as we play here in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's another fastball hit hard, but that'll get fouled down the right field line. Bowen just a little late on 96. But the right idea for sure. We knew this would be a low-scoring game and pulled up to the ballpark. You saw the wind, a bunch of palm trees down the left field line, and surprised none of those have fallen off yet. They've been whipping around so hard. Here's the 2-2, runners go, and the pitch is up and off the plate outside for ball 3. So a couple of stolen bases as the Gators get aggressive here. And now a base hit could make it a 3-0 game. Serwick on deck. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it misses. A little high on a slider. Ethan Serwick's going to get a chance with the bases loaded here in the inning.
And the base loaded all via the walk.
And that's been Stokes' issue, so you look at his numbers now. Stokes came in with 9 walks. He's now got 12 to only 11 strikeouts. Big spot for Serwick. And the first pitch catches the corner on a fastball for strike 1. Serwick has been really good with the bases loaded this year for the Gators. He's hitting 600. White jerseys everywhere. 0-1, fastball in there for strike 2. He just took 2 fastballs on the outer part of the plate. Probably expecting that slider.
Just going to say that, Jeff. I think he was probably expecting breaking ball there, didn't get it.
It's 3 for 5 this year in this spot. There's the slider, and he'll sit down. So Stokes is going to pump his fist, acting like he won the World Series, yet he's the one that put all the dudes on base via the walk. So he walks 3 in the inning, strikes out 2, and another 0 goes up on the scoreboard. We'll head to the 6th. Gators still up 1-0. Sixth inning alongside Steve Russell, Jeff Cardozo here with you. On the television side, Jeremy Otter producing tonight, doing a great job as they try to sync all this up and make it happen. All the people watching a great pitching duel, and then the guy that got us going, Steve Egan, tremendous as always. We were hoping Eags wouldn't be here. He would be on a flight to Houston today, but obviously things didn't go well for Gator basketball, finishing up down in Tampa, but we are the beneficiaries of it, getting to hang out with Steve all day long. 9-1-2 here for the Seminoles. Each team with 19 wins. Gators have 6 losses, Seminoles with 4. Gators trying to hand Seminoles their 2nd loss in this series this year. Cal Fisher, the first to hit, the 9-hole hitter and a righty. And the first pitch is a pop-up. It'll reach the seats over the Gator dugout down the first baseline. McNeely threw 10 pitches last inning, got a couple of strikeouts. He is striking out 5 of the 6 guys he has faced tonight. Fisher back in the box, and he's starting on 94. Good fastball on the outer part of the plate. Fisher, 269 hitter. As he takes his time to get back in the box. No homers on the year for him. And the pitch, fastball off the plate. Starting to rain a little harder now. And as you look around the ballpark, a lot more empty seats than there was just a couple of innings ago. As the temperature continues to drop. 1-2 is fouled back off the net and right back into the batter's box.
They're in the concourse.
Yeah. Getting under cover, getting out of the weather, enjoying some adult beverages and some hot dogs. What you need in a ballpark. 1-2 is chop foul the other way this time, down the third baseline. Each team had just 6 hits in the first matchup. As that rain gets harder and harder, you see it under the LED lights here at the Jumbo Shrimp Ballpark. McNeely waiting for the righty to get in the box, finally does, and he's going back in the dugout. Another strikeout for Luke McNeely. That is 6 of the 7 Seminoles he has faced.
Jeff, I don't know if you get the same feeling I do, but when Florida faces Florida State, Florida's pitchers are really confident, and you don't get that same feeling when they face SEC competition. But against this team, they think they can just knock them out.
Back to the top of the order, and Braden Dowd. First pitch to him, chopped right back up the middle, but right where Myers was playing, and the Gator shortstop will throw him out behind the bag for out number 2. Yeah, and Sully even mentioned that. I think, and I don't remember if it was on the air or just in talking to him Sunday. He said we have to have the same mindset that we do against Florida State and Miami. Just from, hey, this is in-state rival. We want to beat these guys. There's friends on the other team. So have that same mentality wherever it is.
Because you have to be an SEC team.
Certainly so. So 2 outs now for Kelvin Paulino Jr. The right-handed hitting freshman 0 for 2 tonight. Ground out to short and a pop-up to the second baseman. And he pops one up again down the right field line, but that'll reach the seats. So Paulino makes his way back to the box. Really highly touted freshman. As McNeely's ready again and misses with a fastball off the plate. He's from Thomasville, North Carolina, but came down here to Florida to go to IMG in Bradenton and play baseball. McNeely's 2-1. Right through there. Oh, and a nice slider to even up the count. And he was ranked the 3rd best third baseman by perfect game coming out. McNeely just misses. Thought he had another strikeout with a slider. He was 3 steps into the Gator dugout. So now the count full with the dangerous Miles Bailey next, and they won't have to face him if they can catch a fly ball. Ball's out to right, nobody sees it, and it's going to fall in front of the right fielder Strayer, and Paulino's going to get all the way to third base. So I guess they can catch a fly ball. Strayer was actually going backwards towards the warning track. Not only are you dealing with the rain right now, but you're dealing with the sky. It's that dusky time of night where you're more prone to lose balls, and Strayer just never saw it.
No, and Jones in center field immediately raised his hands too. I don't see it, I don't see it. And it ends up being a wind-blown triple.
So Carson Bowen will head out and talk to Luke McNeely.
And I like this. Hey, you should be out of the inning. Get this guy, you're out of the inning, although it's not an easy guy to get.
Yeah, the most dangerous Seminole comes to the plate. Bailey comes in hitting .351 with 12 homers and 31 runs driven in. Gators have handled him tonight. McNeely struck him out his last time, and it looks like they might want to walk him, and yeah, they will. So the Seminole fans are going to boo, but it's exactly what Florida State did to Brendan Lawson.
Well, and you do that, you get a right-on-right matchup, and this guy struck out twice.
Yep.
Smart move.
And Kevin O'Sullivan will now make his way out to the dugout. McNeely already with 6 strikeouts, so that's going to make the Campus USA Credit Union strikeouts for Hunger total go up even more, and it's great that they are partnering with the Gators, because every strikeout this year, $25 donated to the Bread of the Mighty with a $1,000 bonus for any no-hitter. And so far this year, $6,700 has been raised to fight hunger in our community. Campus USA Credit Union shining strong since 1935. Jackson Barberi is out of the Gator bullpen. McNeely will try to get Nathan Schmela, the right-handed hitting catcher, as that rain continues to drop here at VyStar Ballpark. The runners on the corners for Florida State, and the first pitch fouled off on a slider down and in for strike one. Schmela struck out looking in the second by Sandefur, and then McNeely struck him out swinging in the fourth on a slider. A .333 hitter with a couple of homers. McNeely's ready and misses with a fastball up and off the plate, even up the count at 1-1. There's a really big hole to the right side for Schmela. Curlin plays almost behind the bag at second. A 1-1 pitch, foul ball. Now they're going to say it hit him on a, looked like it was going to be a check swing. And now you got to figure out what's happening. The ball ricocheted straight into the Gator dugout like it was a foul ball. And yeah, that's what it was on the replay.
Yeah, foul ball clearly.
So a ball and 2 strikes. Just Vic Carell came out really weird, like he was about to call hit by pitch.
Yeah, it looked like he was pointing to first base.
So McNeely way ahead as FSU has their biggest threat of the night. Here's the 1-2 pitch, ground ball out towards third. Schwartz stays down on it. He'll go to short route, and Curlin's got it. And that will do it. So Florida State will strand a couple as McNeely hangs another 0. And the Gator fans come to their feet here at VyStar Ballpark. 6 more shutout innings for this Gator pitching staff. And we'll head to the home half with Florida leading at 1-0.
Gator Bowl Sports pairs college athletics with membership to facilitate community programming across the First Coast. Over the past year, Gator
made their way up into the concourse, trying to get away from the misty rain that continues to fall down. It hasn't messed up either team's pitching, though. Both of these sides have been really, really good. The Gators have thrown 87 pitches tonight, 60 of them for strikes. Florida State has thrown 85 pitches, 57 of them for strikes. And fans, don't forget Okamic at the University of Florida partnering with the Gators this year on the Home Runs for Hope campaign, donating $25 for every Gator home run to support the Alzheimer's Association. So far this year, $800 donated. Thank you, Okamic, for helping knock Alzheimer's out of the ballpark. You knock one out of the ballpark tonight, that should be extra money. Cold, rainy, windy, wind blowing straight in at 20 miles an hour. Big ballpark. My partner, though, could do it. Slow pitch softball. Just get Steve Russell out there dominating. Here's Blake Sear as he steps in. Face the righty Cole Stokes. Stokes has thrown an inning and a third of hitless baseball, but he did load the bases, walking 3 guys an inning ago. Sear chops one foul on a slider to even up at 1-1. One of those 3 walks was intentional by Stokes, who has done a nice job this year in his first year in the Garnet Gold. Sear, an excuse me single his last time up, almost gets hit as he turns away from a fastball inside for ball 2. Sear also reached on an error, so he's been on base both times as he gets ready and misses the slider badly to even up the count at 2-2. Stokes is going to be really good if he can just get a little more control. 2-2 pitch way off the plate, overthrew the slider that time. Well, he walked Myers to lead off the 5th. See if he can do that to Sear here in the 6th. As Blake stands right on top of the plate. The 3-2 pitch is a swing and a miss. Went right back to the slider. Really nice pitch for his 3rd strikeout.
Boy, you know, the way that he pitches, you're right. If he ever harnesses his control with the stuff he's got, this pitch is nasty. Just breaks down on the way to Sear. If he can consistently throw strikes, he's going to be somebody's real big find.
So now Cash Strayer, and hopefully Cash is coming out of a really long slump. He came in to the Saturday game in Alabama just 2 for his last 32, and he struck out all 3 times that day as he hits one out towards left field. Chase Williams trying to chase it down towards the line, and he will make the catch. But then Strayer did not start the Sunday game, had to come in because Ashton Wilson left after getting hit. Strayer had 2 hits that day, and he singled and laid down a squeeze bunt for the only run of this game. So Strayer now 3 for his last 4. But he makes the 2nd out of the inning here. And now Colton Schwartz will hit. Schwartz has hit 2 balls really hard tonight, but Stutzer, the right fielder, has caught both of them. Foul back, a first pitch slider for strike 1. 1-0 Gators. That's it here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Schwartz waving that bat behind his right ear. Take another slider in there for strike 2. And he throws it, Stokes does, 2 different ways. One that kind of get me over slider, and then the other one more of a sweeper to get these right-handed hitters to strike out. Just like that. And Schwartz misses it badly. So a really nice inning for Cole Stokes, the Seminole right-hander, as he sets down the Gators in order with a couple of strikeouts. We'll head to the 7th. Florida still leading at 1-0. brother-in-law calls to the bullpen, but will make you wait 10 seconds to hear who it is as we pause for station identification on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield. Baron Easterling, our producer on radio tonight. Steve Egan alongside, helping out, doing everything here in the booth to make things go well. Jeremy Otter on the TV side. I am Jeff Cardozo. We'll hear from Steve Russell in just a second. But first, I tell you about the new Gator arm and his righty, Jackson Barberi, making his 11th appearance of the year. That's one behind Ernesto Lugo Canchola for the team lead. Barberi in 18 innings has given up just 11 hits, 6 runs, with 9 walks and 24 strikeouts. Opponents hit just $1.62 off of him. 2-2 record, an earned run average of 2.95, and Barberi again, another one of those guys that struggled against Alabama over the weekend. He threw 49 pitches in an inning and 2/3, allowing 3 hits and 2 runs. Walked a couple that day as well. All right, the grounds crew raking the skin portion of the infield. They're also adding some cat litter to the batter's boxes. It's not really cat litter, but it's basically what it is. They're taking out the old nasty muddy clay and replacing it with little turf dry that they'll throw in there and make it look good. The Marlins AAA team will get going Friday night here. So opening day in Major League Baseball and Minor League Baseball coming up. So really fun times in this ballpark in Jacksonville. And the Jumbo Shrimp, the reigning champs, they won it last year. So really cool for those guys and that broadcast crew who we got to hang out with before the game to get things going back on Friday night. All right. Here's the 7th. Gators up 1-0, and once again, Steve Russell.
All right, Jeff, thank you. Barberi's first pitch, a ball to Eli Putnam. Second base, put up twice and struck out twice. 1-0. Tried to check his swing, could not. 1 ball, 1 strike. They play him to pull. 1-1, outside 2-1. Again, that misty rain continues to fall. 2-1. Swing and a foul in the Gator dugout. Two and 2. Barberi's 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. The hat trick for Putnam. Barberi throwing a nice breaking ball, and Putnam swinging over it for the first out. Now John Stutzer hits. He's 1 for 2. He takes a strike. He struck out looking, then hit a double, tried to stretch it into a triple, and got thrown out. 0-1 is strike 2. Barberi looks very sharp here.
98 at the knees. Stutzer trying to act like that thing was low.
0-2, swing and a miss. That's 12 strikeouts for Gator pitching tonight.
And remember, 18 in the first matchup.
Chase Williams now grounded out, struck out. Barberi's fastball, strike 1. Every hitter but one has struck out tonight in the Seminole order. Only Paulino Jr. has not. 0-1, check swing, fast strike. 0-2. swing and a miss, a dominant inning by Barberi, mowing the Seminoles down as they go down 1-2-3 on 3 consecutive strikeouts. Time to stretch at the ballpark. Not a lot of runs tonight. 1 run has stood up. 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Jack with you here in a classic pitcher's duel. The teams have combined to score 1 run on just 6 hits. Gators hit here in the bottom of the 7th. Myers in the top of the order with Jones and Lawson. Cole Myers struck out and walked. Cole Stokes still out there, throw strike 1. You don't see many games like this at the college level. 0-1. Spins in there for strike 2. Swing, ground ball, slowly hit, foul left side.
But you can see just now what's happening to the field with all the dew, all the footprints that are walking around the infield. There's a line from home plate to the pitcher's mound.
0-2 again. Swing, ground ball, foul again.
If anybody can put it in play on the ground, a little slick trying to field it, but nobody can touch the baseball. These pitchers have been so dominant.
They play him straight away. 0-2 again. Almost. It did hit him. An 0-2 pitch that hits him.
Well, you'll certainly take that. So Myers with a leadoff walk back in the 5th, and the leadoff hit by pitch. Same guy on the mound, Stokes.
Kyle Jones now 0 for 3. If you're thinking of sacrifice here, the Gators have exactly 4 of them on the entire year. Runner goes, pitch is a ball and no throw.
Yeah, and I was just looking at Florida State, and they have only caught 3 guys all year from both of their catchers. So you figured the Gators were going to be really aggressive in that spot. Need to try to get runner over to third base now. Jones just needs to do his job, whether it's a bunt again or just hit a ball to the right side.
They're going to come up to protect against the bunt at first and third. He squares, bunts, it's down the third baseline, fair. Only play is to first. Jones does his job.
Yeah, perfectly executed bunt. You force Bavaro away from the bag, so there's no chance of getting the runner. And now you've got your best hitter up to try to add another run, and we'll see what Florida State does. I would assume they'd probably try to walk him again.
They're gonna.
Yep.
Well, it does two things. It sets up a double play, and if you consider him to be the best hitter, it takes the bat out of his hands. You have a guy in Curlin who's 0 for 3. Well, you go back to the short game here.
I think you do.
Yep.
You try to see if Cade lays one down. Out towards Bailey at first.
Boy, the wind and the rain really coming down now. Fastball and ball, it's just whipping left to right.
And this is what Alabama did to the Gators, so Florida learning something here too. They had 3 safety squeezes on the weekend.
He squares and takes it upstairs.
And Myers needs, I think, get a little further away from third base. The third baseman is crashing, so he come down as far as that third baseman is. So he can get more.
Squares again, pitch is a ball. And the idea, if you're pitching, is to elevate so that it's harder to bunt, but you got to throw strikes too. Down on the count 3-0. Pitch is a strike on the outside corner. I don't think Curlin thought so. I don't think the Gator dugout thought so either. (3-1) takes a ball, and the bases are loaded.
Well, exact same thing that happened 2 innings ago. But now you've only got 1 out.
Trip to the mound now as the bases are loaded with 1 out. Carson Bowen in, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. Well, the way that this game has gone, runs are certainly at a premium. The wind has picked up even more. You could see the players' jerseys now with the wind. It's affecting that too.
Yeah, it's pretty miserable, but maybe this is getting the Gators ready for what they're going to now have to face at Arkansas. You look at the weather for Arkansas this weekend, there's a big cold spell coming through. It's supposed to rain early Friday morning, and then Friday night temperatures could dip down into the 30s. Game time temperature about 50 degrees, and then it won't get higher than mid-60s throughout the weekend.
After being in the 80s.
Yep.
All right, conversation over. They're going to leave him in to face Bowen. Big spot in the game here. It is up 1-0 in the 7th. Pitch is low, ball 1. Bowen, a couple of homers to go with a .257 average. 1-0, ball 2. That wasn't close.
Yeah, really good take on that slider. He was ready for it though. Bowen's had 3 at-bats this year with the bases loaded. Has not gotten a hit in any of them. 0 for 3.
Infield's up at the corners. 2-0 is not close. 3-0. I thought they were going to take him out because he's not been close. And now he's even worse. He's 1 pitch away from walking in a run. Ball 4 wasn't close. 2-0 Gators.
Well, and that's the chance you take at walking Lawson as well. Got away with it last time, 2 innings ago in the 5th, but that's now 6 walks for the right-hander Stokes, and that is going to be it for him.
Well, they know their personnel better than we do, but I think they obviously waited a hit or two long.
Remember, this all started with an 0-2 hit by pitch to the 9th hole.
So Meldon Law, call to the bullpen, will tell you who's coming in after these messages on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield. Right-hander has come out. And inheriting a real mess.
It's Cade O'Leary coming in, sophomore from Nashville, 6'4", 190-pound right-hander. O'Leary on the season, making his 8th appearance. He's 1-1 with a 5.91 earned run average, all appearances in relief. In 10 innings, though, he's given up 11 hits. And the issues, again, the walks. He's got 11 walks in those 10 innings to go along with 14 strikeouts. So it's not the most ideal person you would think you'd bring it in, because you walk the first guy you face, it's another run. Bases loaded and still only 1 out.
Ethan Surowick has walked and scored and struck out twice. The Gators will take him any way you can get him.
Remember, Surowick was up there with the bases loaded in the 5th and ended up striking out on 3 pitches to end the inning. So Surowick now on the year 3 for 6. But the good news is the 3 hits are tied with Jones for the most out of anybody when the bases are loaded this year.
Still completing his warm-ups. Gators have a real chance to bust this open now. Don't forget, Gator fans, get ready for a winning tradition with Miapa Latin Cafe. When the Gators win at home, you get a free Cuban coffee. Just show your digital ticket at any Miapa Latin Cafe location in Alachua County within 24 hours of the game to redeem your free coffee. Celebrating 20 years of serving Gator fans, Miapa Latin Cafe. All right, here's Surowick. Again, just 1 out of the inning. Seminoles infield in at the corners. Stretch and pitch is a strike.
It's a 12-6 curveball.
Now the 0-1, another one, swing and a miss. Well, gonna put the ball in play here somewhere, somehow. Now the 0-2, swinging a chopper foul.
Yeah, tripled up, threw him another one. That was good job by Surowick. Pretty good pitch, down out of the strike zone.
Two 2-0 now, Gators. Here in the 7th. Another 0-2 on the way. That's high and away, 1-2. Outfield straightaway, infield shades him to pull. Stretch and pitch, ground ball, base hit, left field. 1 run's in, that's all they're going to get. But it's an RBI hit. The ball does get away, but not far enough to advance. But Surowick comes through, and the Gators get another run.
Yeah, went back to the curveball again, and that one more over the plate. That's just a great job by Surowick. When you see the same pitch 3 out of the 4 times, the other one was just a cutter that was completely out of the zone. So they went right back to it, and Surowick did a good job of getting it just belt high as opposed to down and off the plate like the previous two.
Yeah, hanger, no doubt. Here's Blake Sear, 1 for 3. Gators now with a 3-run cushion. Pitch to him is a fastball, ball 1. In a game like this, 3 runs seems like a lot. Stretch and pitch is upstairs. Gators count, 2 balls, no strikes. Gators can really bust this open now. (2-0), swing and a miss, or actually a foul ball. They got a piece of it, 2-1. Now the pitch. It's a strike. 2-2. I think Sherwood thought it was low. Pitch to him. Swing, ground ball, base hit center field. 1 runs in. They're waving a 2nd run home. Here comes the throw. It's not in time. 2 RBI single for Blake Sear. The Gators now lead 5-0.
Yeah, great job. Not trying to do too much. Awesome 2-strike approach. Just send it right back where it came from. You saw you had an opening through the middle part of the field, and Sear's been an RBI machine of late. So much better than what we saw a year ago. It's been really nice to see him come through.
Castrayer hits now. He's 1 for 2 officially. The Gators coming through big time here. First pitch to him, swung on and popped up down the left field line. It's in foul ground, caught for the out.
Nice to see all these walks coming through. So Gators were walked 4 times in the inning. All of them have come around to score. And that was what really hurt them in Tuscaloosa the other way.
Colton Schwartz now, so the Gators have batted around in the inning. Pitch to him, fastball strike. Oh, 1 in the dirt, gets away. Runners move up on the wild pitch. Gators now up 5-0. Pitch is a little high. From the stretch, pitch, swung, popped up, short left center field. It's going to be caught by the center fielder for the out. But a 4-run inning for the Gators. They do it on just 2 hits. We've now played 7. Florida's on top, 5-0.
No matter your level of love for sports, the
Gators in the 7th use a big 4-run inning. 5 runs, 5 hits for the Gators, an error for Florida. No runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for Florida State. We move to the 8th. Back to the play-by-play. Here's Jeff.
All right, Steve, thank you. The most pitches thrown in any inning tonight by any Gator was 20 by Sandifer back in the 3rd inning. And that's when he faced 5 Florida State hitters. That's the most that they have sent to the plate any inning tonight. The Gators have struck out the side in 3 of the 7 innings. 13 for the game. They're trying to get to the 18 that they had a couple of weeks ago, and they can still get there. Still 6 more outs to get as Jackson Barberi will face 8, 9, and 1. Will Bavaro, right-handed hitter, backs up on a breaking ball, one that was called a strike right over the middle part of the plate. Bavaro has one of Florida State's 3 hits tonight. It was a single back in the 3rd inning. Seminoles have a single, a double, and a triple. Gators have 5 runs on 5 hits. Barberi misses with a breaking ball, so now a 1-1. And this one lined out to center, sinking. Jones trying to get there, and he will. And how about the slide? He went for a good 5 yards or so. That's like playing slip and slide.
It is. That's how wet it is.
Yeah.
Because it's been misty and rainy all night, and just goes to his right, makes the catch, and then on his backside does a nice slide.
Slip and slides were cool. That's
yes.
when, like, you went to the rich kid's house and they had a slip and slide. So Barberi gets the first out. First time he doesn't get a strikeout, but he'll throw strike 1 to Cal Fisher, the 9-hole hitter. Fisher has reached on an error and struck out. 266 hitter as he fouls one off down the right field line. There's probably more empty seats now than there is people in seats. But the Tiki Bar is full out there in left field. People are staying till the end. And I don't blame them. 0-2 pitch is lined foul down the 3rd base line. Hanging breaking ball there from Barberi. See the Tiki Terrace just past the 321 sign out in left field. You come to a Jumbo Shrimp game, that's the place you want to go. Of course, there's a lot of great concerts at the arena just beyond the 3rd base line here in the wall. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Barberi, fouled off again.
You mentioned busting in here, those new buildings. I mean, they've come up just like that.
Yeah, they're gonna. I mean, it's gonna be a little miniature city trying to be after the ballpark in Atlanta as Barberi misses on a breaking ball. That's what a lot of people are going to now. You get the shopping, the residence area, and certainly you got a great spot right here on the river. You got an amphitheater attached to the football stadium. Here's a 1-2 pitch, is fouled off again. I've seen Carrie Underwood at the arena behind us. Of course, the Gators have come over here and play basketball. And that's, Steve Egan's here with us tonight. He's done now basketball, football, and baseball in Jacksonville this year. Home away from home for the Gators. Now the 1-2 pitch is a little high, doesn't chase the fastball. And speaking of basketball, Scott Strickland, Florida's athletic director, came out with a quote about Todd Golden earlier today. First a 2-2 pitch and breaking ball that misses. Appeal says no. And the quote is, Todd wants to be at the University of Florida. I wish all of those other programs really good luck. Todd's going to be here for a long time. So silencing a lot of the rumors with Kansas, North Carolina, etc. 2-2 pitch missed. Excuse me, 3-2. So that's going to be a walk.
And I think that does a lot of things. Number one, as you said, it quells the rumors. And number two, it tells recruits he ain't going anyplace.
Just a second walk tonight for Gator pitching. The other one was intentional to Miles Bailey. So the Seminoles get a one-out base runner for the top of the order, and Braden Dowd left-handed hitter. Barbieri to the stretch and misses inside on a breaking ball. Dowd, 5'10", 180 pounds, from Bethesda, Maryland. Middle infielders at double play depth for the Gators. As Barbieri's pitch is hit straight away center field, Jones just drifts back a few steps. No problem with a one-handed catch for out number 2.
Had him played perfectly. Jones got a good jump on it. Easy play to make.
So now Kelvin Paulino Jr., he's the one that had the gift triple. Gators lost the ball in the air, more so Strayer out in right field, and plopped down in front of him to get him to third base. First pitch to him here is strike 1 on a good fastball at 97 miles an hour. Paulino hit 400 on the year. He's had a heck of a freshman season. That breaking ball down in the dirt, but Bowen does a good job of stopping it, keeping it in front of him. Paulino making just his 13th start of the year, but he's got 22 hits. That's how good he's been. Back in the box for the 1-1, and it's strike 2. Slider that catches the corner. So Barbieri trying for a strikeout. Way up on the right-handed hitter, the 1-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, says Damian Beal, first base umpire here tonight. So Paulino will get another crack. 2-2 from number 22. And here it comes. See ya. Fastball, swing and a miss on the outer part of the plate. Strikeout number 14 for the Gators, and another 0 up on the board. 8 shutout innings tonight for this Gator pitching staff, and that our Quality Plumbing strikeout of the game. Quality Plumbing, providing the highest level of plumbing services throughout the greater North Florida region since 1984. We'll move to the home half of the 8th. Gators up 5-0. For both the Gator baseball team and Florida softball, who's now in the top 5. Tim Walton's bunch took 2 out of 3 against the #1 team in the country, Tennessee, over the weekend. So they move into the top 5. But both teams will board the plane and head to Arkansas this weekend. Kind of crazy that both baseball and softball are up in Arkansas, and that is what will happen this week. Brought to you by Wells Fargo. The Wells Fargo Gator debit card. You can show your Gator pride 24/7. Visit wellsfargo.com or head to your local Wells Fargo to learn more. Wells Fargo is the official retail bank of the Florida Gators. Florida State will bring in a new arm here for the bottom of the 8th inning. It is a right-hander making his 3rd appearance, Manny Lantigua.
ERA 4.50, no record, just 2 innings, 2 hits, a run was earned, no walks, 4 strikeouts.
He'll face 9-1-2, same guys that started last inning. Myers, Jones, and Lawson. Myers been on base his last 2 times up there from the 9-hole. A walk and an 0-2 hit by pitch. The righty's ready, and that one misses. Fastball too high at 90 miles an hour for ball 1. Myers' average still just at 209, but he's played a really solid defense. As takes another one high. Made a heck of a play earlier in the day. Ball that hit off of Schwartz's glove and got all the way down the left field line. Myers hustled all the way down there, about 3/4 of the way down the line. Picked it up as he takes a strike, and then fired a one-hopper into third, preventing the Seminoles from getting a leadoff triple. That was back in the 5th inning when it was just a 1-0 game. Myers a little late on that fastball, and it evens up the count at 2-2. Good chance for Lantigua to show he wants some more innings. As he gets ready for the 2-2 pitch and just misses in on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. So another lengthy count that Myers is a part of. His white uni has got dirt all over it. He has played really hard tonight. Now ready for the 3-2 pitch, and he fouls it off. I actually ran into Myers' dad here a few years ago. They had the exhibition game before the Florida-Georgia football game, and then after they had Vanilla Ice concert. Steve, I'm surprised you didn't stay for that, but I did, and I was partying with Brett Myers that night. And his son's going to walk again. Colt on base for the 3rd time, and that is 3 straight times he's been up there as the 9-hole hitter and gets on via a free pass.
Love that. If you're hitting the 9-hole, you can get on base 3 times. You have done your job.
Yeah, that was before Colt was even a Gator. We're singing Ice Ice Baby, and I mean there was a lot of those 90s rappers there that night as Kyle Jones steps in there. I can sing a little for you if you want. To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal, light up a stage and watch you jump like a candle, dance, can watch a speaker that booms.
That's why I missed it.
A lot of fun for sure. As Jones is back in there, and he'll take fastball down low for ball 2. Jones a really nice sac bunt his last time up, got Myers over to third base. 0 for 3 before that though. And he's just 3 for his last 18 at the plate. Here's a 2-0 pitch, and it's a pop-up mile high on the infield. Who wants it? The pitcher's got to get out of the way, but he says pitchers are the best athletes, so I got this thing. And he'll catch it at the base of the mound.
Well, it's a good thing he did, because the third baseman and the shortstop both got kind of late jumps on that, and the ball just was square in the middle of the pitching mound, and he really had no choice but to catch it.
So now Lawson, who's been intentionally walked his last 2 times up there. Runner goes, pitches off the plate, and Myers is going to swipe his 3rd bag of the night. So the Gators continuing to be aggressive, even up 5 here in the 8th inning. And for Myers, he's now got 6 steals on the year. Well, that frees up first base, but looks like they'll still pitch to Lawson. Almost gets hit with a slider for ball 2. So Kevin O'Sullivan's success.
Gonna walk him now.
Yeah, after 2-0. So The third straight intentional walk to Lawson. And another trip to the mound for Florida State. Gators have won 25 of the last 33. And if you look at just the series total, been dominated by Kevin O'Sullivan as well. Gators have moved ahead in the all-time head-to-head series now because of what Sully has done. Florida comes in with a 135-130 advantage. And Florida State's going to make another Meldon Law call to the bullpen. So we'll tell you about the new arm coming in when we come back on the Gator Sports Network from Learfield. Coming in for Florida State, 6'4", 221-pounder Ben Barrett.
Yeah, Seminoles using some guys that have not gotten a lot of work considering the score of the game and where we are. Ben Barrett, no record. His ERA, 11.57, just his 5th appearance. 2 1/3 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Teams 300 against him.
Rain continues to lightly fall, just one of those annoying rains now, I'm sure, for everybody down in the elements. And good bit of the 7,000 tickets that were sold are on their way home. But still a lot of Gator fans left watching their team lead at 5-0 here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and Florida with a chance for some more as they've got 2 on with only 1 out. Yeah, we got another communication issue as Ben Barrett's got to go get a new earpiece. Cade Curlin hits. Walked his last time. 0 for 3 before that. He has now reached base in 9 of the last 10 games. And the first pitch to him is right through there. Good fastball at 91 miles an hour. Curlin hitting just .250 on the year, but missed almost a month with that oblique. So good to get him back in the lineup. Runners go again. 0-1 pitch. Throw down to third is not in time. So Myers is going to get his 4th steal of the night. Link Jarrett wants to confirm that, though, and he'll ask for a replay. So we'll have another delay. We mentioned the Gators going to Arkansas this weekend. Seminoles get to stay at home. They've got back-to-back home weekends as Duke will come to town. Tough to tell on the first replay that we get.
Looked like the throw beat him. So I don't know if he slid around it. I thought naked eye the throw beat him.
Yeah, might have got on the backside of the bag. He's dirtied up his uniform even more than it already is. Seminoles went to Wake a couple of weeks ago, and they actually swept Wake Forest, had 2 shutouts that weekend. Wake was ranked number 12 at the time. And then NC State, who was ranked 10th in the country, came to town, and Florida State beat them 2 out of 3. So they have been very successful against ranked teams over the last couple of weekends.
You know, I've often wondered this, Jeff. I mean, look, the ACC is a good league. And just what you said, right? Those teams are ranked. Well, first of all, we'll get the call here.
Myers is safe, so he's got 4 steals on the night. Came in with just 3 on the season.
But I wonder how FSU would do in the SEC.
Yeah, it's the last ranked teams right now that they will play as Curlin chops one foul. So he's in a 1-2 hole.
If you had to face the gamut of teams, the SEC has to take nothing away from what they've done, but just wonder.
Curlin ready for the 1-2 pitch, and it is off the plate on a slider. They won't play Miami till the very end of the year. The Hurricanes come to Tallahassee the final weekend. That's after Florida State has a trip to Clemson. So Curlin back in there, ready for the pitch, and it's just off the plate. Home plate umpire flinched. Vic Corral looked like he wanted to call strike 3, but he didn't.
Curlin smiling. Might have gotten away with that one.
So it brings the count full for Curlin. Infield in for the 3-2 pitch, and that one is way off the plate. Well, I guess that was only ball 3. So now the count is full. And Curlin back in the box. The righty ready. 3-2 pitch. Curlin lines it right at the shortstop. They'll throw back, and they've got Myers. A line drive, 6-5 double play. As Curlin absolutely smoked it. But Florida State able to get out of the inning after 2 more walks here in the 8th. So we head to inning number 9. Gators need just 3 more outs, and they'll try to get a shutout as they lead at 5-0.
You're invited to a special edition of Inside Seminole Baseball with Lee Jarrett live from Providence in Collegetown from 7 to 8 p.m. We'll enjoy food and drinks at the FSU Bar and Grill. Hear from the head coach, players, and much more. You can't make it? Watch the show live on the Unconquered app and Florida State Baseball social platforms. Or listen in on the Game Day app.
Into the 9th inning. Fans were looking for a trusted sign company. Gainesville Neon and Signs has been serving North Florida since 1964, and now they are proud to be the official sign provider of the Gators. From custom signs and lighting to vinyl graphics, wraps and repairs, they handle it all. Count on them to bring your brand to life with quality signs that get noticed. Alongside Steve Russell, Jeff Cardozo back here with you. Jackson Barberry trying to finish off a shutout here for the Gators. 14 more strikeouts for Florida tonight, so they can only get to 17 if Barberry can strike out the side, but another tremendous effort. Last time the Gators had a shutout here in Jacksonville, you got to go all the way back to 2018. as Barbieri throws strike one to Miles Bailey. Gators have done a great job in the 2 games now against Bailey. He is 0 for. And he's tardy on 96, and he's quickly in an 0-2 hole. Gators intentionally walked him back in the 6th after that Blue triple that nobody was able to get, but got out of the inning. 0-2 pitch, just missed down low on a fastball. Barbieri thought he had another strikeout. Gators struck out Bailey 3 of the 4 times they faced him in Gainesville. Here's the pitch, and it just misses again. Back-to-back borderline balls that don't go Barbieri's way. And he just shakes his head as he takes a step off the mound. So now it's a 2-2, and he'll foul a fastball straight back. Barbieri still throwing 97 in this weather tonight. He's ready again. 2-2 pitch, slider that misses down and in to bring the count full. Bailey walked 5 times in the 3 games against NC State over the weekend. They didn't want to pitch to him. Here's the 3-2, and it just misses again. 3 borderline fastballs, and Kevin O'Sullivan's 2 steps on top of the dugout. Wow. And Florida State's going to get a pinch hitter up there. Brody DeLavalor will pinch hit. St. Augustine native and right-handed hitter as Barbieri has to go to the stretch. And he'll spin a breaking ball in there for strike one. DeLavalor was a pinch hitter the game in Gainesville, and he struck out in his only at-bat. 0-1, strike 2, another slider. He's ready, and the 0-2 pitch fouled off. Gave him another slider. .40 pitches now for Barbieri. He's going to be right about the same mark that the other 2 Gators had. As he comes set again, long hold, and the 0-2 pitch is high on a fastball. Sandifer threw 46 over 3 innings. McNeely threw 41 over 3 innings. The important part, the strikes. Gators have thrown 2/3 of their pitches tonight for strikes. Here's the 1-2, and he missed on another breaking ball. DeLavalor choking up. On the bat with 2 strikes. The pitch is fly ball out to center. Right where Jones was playing. He'll drift over into right center and haul it in for out number 1.
Oh, good job by Barbieri. Previous hitter looked like he had him struck out. Sometimes that rattles a pitcher. It didn't for him. Came back, got the next hitter. Now another pinch hitter coming up.
It will be Noah Sheffield, sophomore from Tampa. 6'1", 190-pounder. And right-handed hitter. Barbieri's first pitch to him is a breaking ball down low for ball 1. Sheffield has started 18 games, hitting just .268 with a couple of homers. Has driven in 23 though. And that RBI total, second most on the ball club. He started the first game a couple of weeks ago as he takes a breaking ball off the plate for ball 2. Sheffield hitting the 2-hole, but he was 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And if you're watching on TV tonight, see that batting stance looks very familiar as he pops this one up mile high. Shallow left field, shortstop out, left fielder Sear coming in. He's not going to get it. That wind just completely took it back, and I'm not sure what happened there, because it looked like Myers was camped under it, and then he bailed, so Sear must have been calling it, and Sear just couldn't get there.
Yeah, I think the shortstop's ball is his to catch, but I think Sear did call him off, and then the wind took it,
Yep.
and Sear misjudged it, and it's a blue pit.
So a borderline walk and now a bloop single here in the ninth, as the Seminoles are trying to get their first run on the board. And John Stutzer, the hitter. Stutzer has struck out twice and doubled. One of the 4 hits tonight for the Seminoles, but 2 of them on fly balls, pop-ups that the Gators couldn't catch, as Barberi misses with a breaking ball for ball 2. And that's going to send Bowen out to the mound to have a quick conversation.
Yeah, he's not as sharp now. He's falling behind hitters, and that sometimes is a sign pitcher's getting tired.
The Gators certainly don't want to have to use another arm at this point. So Bailey gets his lead from second. Sheffield from first. As Stutzer gets ready, and he's late on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Good pitch by Barberi. Stutzer's taking a lot of big hacks tonight. Quick look to Bailey, down to the plate, and that one's in there for strike 2. 95 on that fastball. So good job by Barberi to get right back in the count. Stutzer deep in the box. Brings the bat back behind his right ear now. And the 2-2 pitch. See ya! He's got the hat trick tonight, and the Gators have 15 strikeouts as a staff, just 1 out away from a win.
Love that. Just let's not get fancy. Let's just throw gas. And Barberi is good at that. Threw it by him.
So Putnam and Stutzer both have hat tricks. Chase Williams will not get a chance to have that happen because he's going to be pinch hit for, as Hunter Carnes will hit. That's the Jacksonville native. That was the catcher in the first game. Barberi's first pitch, swing and a miss on a high fastball, 98 on that one. So Barberi just rearing back and throwing Chad right now. There's another one, but it short hops the plate and goes all the way to the backstop. So both runners will move up on a wild pitch. And if you're the Gators, you certainly would love to get a shutout. That shutout that the Gators had back in 2018 was a 1-0 win. Barberi still from the stretch, and the 1-1 count. Catches the corner on a fastball, strike 2. And the sparse crowd that's left, majority of them Gator fans, come to their feet as the Gator righty comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch, just missed on a fastball. Another borderline pitch that must have just been off the plate. So Barberi ready for the 2-2. Here it comes from number 22, and it is fouled off. We'll do it again. Barberi up to 56 pitches now, as he tries to get Carnes. He's ready again. And the 2-2 pitch, slider that missed up and off the plate. And the count is full. Another righty on deck in Will Bavaro. So here comes the payoff pitch from Barberi. And did he go? Yes, he did. Strikeout number 16 for the Gators. And Florida does, in fact, get the shutout to beat Florida State yet again. Florida has now won 26 of the last 34 meetings with the Seminoles and 8 of the last 9 series against Florida State. Kevin O'Sullivan continues his dominance on a cold, chilly, windy night in Jacksonville. Florida able to bounce back from losing all 3 over the weekend to Alabama, and they get the W tonight.
Well, it was good to see that because the weekend was so disappointing, and you get to turn right around and play your big in-state rival and play them not at home. Gators responded tonight, especially on the mound. That's where it started, and the Gators got enough offense to win.
Well, we appreciate everybody for tuning in on television tonight, part of our simulcast, as Gator pitching staff struck out 18 a couple of weeks ago, gets 16 more tonight, and they have been dominant against Florida State over these first 2 meetings. Still 1 to go in Tallahassee in a couple of weeks. If you're listening on radio, we'll continue next. We'll start our post-game show on the Gators Sports Network from Learfield.